Revelation 926. From the 22nd of May 1939. Mental influence through co-responsible spirit beings. Enlightenment through highly placed beings. Invisible earth nearness. Those spirit beings are active whose task it is to give knowledge to people about the constant reshaping of everything what enlivens the earth's surface. This task is only possible in the form of thought transmission, and so their work will mostly extend to showing the people the different creation formations quite vividly to their eyes, so that they begin to become thoughtful through these and ask questions which answers are exactly the activity of those spirit beings and is therefore transmitted to the people in the form of thoughts by the spirit beings. It is now easily explainable that not all thoughts transmitted in such a way are also received as an answer. Yes, one will often reject them as untrustworthy and not seriously evaluate it as one's own thought material. And so now all efforts of the spiritual beings on the other side are in vain. The earthly child is exposed to constant harassment, namely from those beings whose mental influence they reject. These beings cannot be dismissed arbitrarily since they stand in a certain connection or spiritual togetherness with the earthly people and are therefore also so to speak jointly responsible for the spiritual state of their maturity. And it therefore happens not seldom that all spiritual affections depress man, that is, that he is forced to put up with such thoughts which burden him. He will try to shoo them away, but again and again they appear, either to cause the human heart displeasure, or also to make it deeply thoughtful, in order to after all still recognize the truth of such thoughts and to pay more attention to them from then on. The spiritual friends can exercise the teaching office and did it also up to now eagerly, but were seldom listened to consciously, and that is what lets the human being advance with such difficulty. But those who willingly surrender to the helpful forces, their state of maturity is much more likely to be assured. Only in exceptional cases the earthly children are instructed by very high spiritual beings, but this again for the purpose of general enlightenment of the whole of mankind, in order to help it in great trouble, and then the thought transmission happens in such a strange way that man should pay attention and make use of such exceptional attention, the greater the trouble on earth is and visibly comes to light. And where there also man refuses to accept spiritual good which is offered in such a way, wisdom from the heavens will assert itself to the blessing of those who do not resist and as constant admonition to those who think little or not at all of their spiritual state. They will once have to recognize that they themselves resist all good spiritual influence and therefore got into dire straits, and their struggle to reach the truth in the hereafter will be far more difficult, for since they rejected spiritual assistance in earthly life, they must now starve and make every effort on their part to achieve what they could effortlessly have achieved on earth. For the struggle in the hereafter is far more difficult than on earth. Amen.